When I remove my controller from this case, this is what it looked like underneath. But now, this is what it looks like. Keep watching to see how I cleaned up this mess. Hey, it's Justin Kanoya, DJ, business coach, and idea sharer. And in this video, I'm doing another case modification. But this one's a little bit different because I'm actually just sort of reorganizing and reconfiguring this one. I've already done my power in and my audio outs and a few other things on here already. And so since I'm really just reorganizing and reconfiguring a few things, this should be a fairly easy project. Famous last words, but really it shouldn't be too difficult. But there's 4 main things that I want to do today. The first is very simple, just remove the RCA cable from the master output. I'd like to reroute the line input cable. This is the cable that I use to plug my phone in. I'm going to add a battery bank to charge my phone and replace the Powercon. You know, I thought it'd be nice for all of you to see how I do that because I think adding a Powercon to a Roadcase is really a very simple thing, and it's one of those things that would just minimize a little bit of setup time for all of you, and it's something that all of you can do, and I think it just takes showing exactly how easy it is to do, and then you can do it yourself. All right, so obviously what we need to do first is just start taking all this apart. Remove the laptop tray. Take this out. This is a little cover that I made myself. Well, I just cut it myself, but this is chalkboard material that you can find at Home Depot. It looks like that on the back, but on this side you could actually take chalk, so it's mainly for people to put up in their house, but works as a great cover on a DJ case. And then, of course, I need to remove all the cables from the rear of the controller. The USB cable, RCA jacks, XLR master and booth outputs, microphone cable, and the power jack. Now, as you can see, inside this case, it's a mess. I think what happened is after installing the exterior panels, I probably had a gig and haphazardly did all of this cabling. And then I never got around to cleaning it up. And since I wanted to redo the Powercon, I figured it was the perfect time to fix all of this. All right, so the first thing I said I want to do is take out, this is the RCA master. So I don't need this anymore, so we're just gonna put this over to the side. And then the other thing was just getting rid of this thing. So this was the whole jerry-rigged thing I did as far as like the stereo 1/8 inch, which only had female plugs. So then I had to put a longer male to male on it. So we're gonna replace that with a much nicer 1/8 inch to RCA male. What I want to do to just make this easier, I'm gonna just go ahead and cut this because I'm not gonna be using this anymore. We're just gonna cut this, then I'm gonna unscrew the Powercon connection on the outside, and then we can just pull this through. Okay, so as you can see, as I was trying to cut that and I was pulling on this whole thing just yanked out from the Powercon. And that was my issue. These tabs are a little too big to slide in to the connections, into the connectors. So I have the correct ones. I've always been worried about these not being the right size, and I found out a little while ago that there was a smaller size. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this out so I can get the right tabs in here. And of course, we're gonna cut a whole new power cable. But that's gonna be all over on a different area. I'm gonna go over to my workbench so we can do this. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove this Powercon, and then we'll head over to the bench and we'll get this rewired. All right, now that I've got the Powercon connector disconnected, we need to I'm going to put in, or at least I'm going to locate where I want the firm and power conditioner to go. And then we'll measure out the amount of cable that we need. For now, I'm just going to take all these cables out. All right, so since the Powercon is over here, obviously we're going to put this over here this way. And doesn't need to be that long at all, probably about right there is where I'll mark that. All right, so let's head over to the bench. All right, now we are over at my bench and we can start building out this cable. So obviously the first thing we do is cut it. So I marked the length I need, which is right about here. And I'm just gonna take the cable and kind of bend it. Puts a little stress on it, and then with a nice sharp knife, hopefully it's a nice sharp knife, I'll just cut this open. I'm gonna need to move this tape. Now I'm gonna peel a little bit more of this jacket off. But before we do that, let's just double check the length and that we have the right length over here. All right, our length is good. I wanna cut off a little bit more of this. I'm gonna lower this camera. And so what you're presented with are 3 wires, white, black, and green. And essentially what that will translate into is ground is green, white is your neutral, and black is your live. And these are important to note because they have specific slots they need to go into when we're slotting them into our Powercon. All right, so I think the best route to go here is to crimp these and put them on before we slide them onto the Powercon. So I'm gonna do that. I've got my little crimping tool right here. I don't know if you probably can't see, but down in here, these are all marked, each one of these terminals. So this is N for neutral, which is going to be our white. There is this doesn't say G, but there's like a ground symbol, the symbol for ground, which of course is our green. And there's an L, which means live, and that's where the black is going to go. And then the trick here is we got to kind of get them all seated initially. If you were to put one in all the way, then the next one is too far in, like you've got to back it out. So okay, it's on. There we go. Oh, hey, how's it going? Hope you're enjoying the video. As you saw, I just finished completing the cable, assembling it. And then this next scene, you'll see that it's magically installed in the case. And you might wonder, how did he do that? Because he didn't show it. Well, the problem was I assembled the cable I assembled it correctly, but what I needed to actually do was feed it through the hole in the case, because this end of the IEC would not fit in the hole. And of course, the Powercon end is not gonna fit in there because that's just where it sits. So I had to disassemble it, and I fed it through, and then I had to reassemble it in the case. I decided not to show that because it just made the video that much longer, and it just wasn't that interesting to watch. But as I was editing it, I thought I didn't even need to explain that, but then I didn't want any of you to embark on a project like this and then follow what I was doing and then realize, oh, I should have fed the cable through, and built the cable with it inside the case. But that's not going to fit very well. So that was just kind of a mess. But I felt it was going to be unscrupulous if I didn't mention that, because I didn't want you guys to mess up. So anyway, now we can get back to the end of the video and finishing off this case. So let's get back to it. All right, now that I've got it installed, of course want to make sure it's working. Kind of important. Grab my outlet tester, okay. Looks like it works. See if I can spin this around for you. I've got a screw and then a little washer right here. That's what's holding it in place. Just kind of holding the washer there, hoping it'll catch it. Not the easiest thing. Okay. All right, now we can start putting the rest of this together. All right, so I'm going to put a couple Velcro strips. I think I'm going to put a little piece of gaff tape just to secure that. Okay, so now with this in place, we can kind of figure out where the wall warts are going to go for the controller and the computer. All right, now that we've got that, I'm going to now gaff this down. I'm going to cut a little more space right there. These are my patch panels. I'm just gonna take a little screwdriver and just kind of tighten these. So that's just kind of good to know as far as maintenance. This microphone one is really loose. And then that one final thing I'm gonna do. So this will be my little battery pack. So that's all this is. Real simple little piece of Velcro, and I'll just stick it there, and that'll be my little charging station for my phone. So let's take a closer look inside. Well, I think this looks so much better. And as a reminder, this is what we started with. Here's the newly installed Furman, the wall warts for the controller and my computer, the cable leading to the Powercon, and my little battery pack. Now it's time to put everything back together. I'll reconnect the XLRs, microphone, and all of the other cables. Slide the shelf back on. Feed the USB, aux, and computer cables back to the top. and we're all done. All right, so there you have it, a little walkthrough on the redoing of this case, but more importantly, redoing that Powercon. I'm gonna feel so much better taking this thing out now, knowing that it's likely not gonna lose power anytime soon. And hey, if you are looking for someone to talk to about a possible case modification, or maybe you're ready to embark on a whole project yourself, I am available for consultation, so there's a link below. You can book a time with me. I'd love to chat with you about your project and see how I can help out. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you found it helpful, please hit that like and subscribe to the channel for more case modification projects as well as other DJ related topics. I'm DJ Kanoya, and I'll see you next time online.